Have you ever stopped to look? Really look. You stand in a supermarket aisle. It's a canyon of color, a wall of choices. Bright bags of salty snacks beckon to you. Bottles of thirst-quenching drinks promise refreshment. You see dozens of brands. Each one seems to be fighting for your attention. They compete for your loyalty and your money. This is the modern marketplace. It is built on the idea of choice. But what if that choice is not what it seems? What if it is, in fact, an illusion? A carefully constructed stage where the actors all work for the same director. We decided to investigate. We went to a typical grocery store. We walked down the snack aisle. We saw Lay's potato chips right next to Doritos. We saw Cheetos Puffs beside Ruffles Ridges. On another aisle, Quaker Oats sat near boxes of Life cereal. In the refrigerated section, Tropicana orange juice was just a few feet away from Naked Juice smoothies. All these brands seem to be in competition. Different logos, different flavors, and different advertising campaigns. They are designed to appeal to different tastes and different people. They seem like rivals in a fierce battle for market share. But they are not rivals. They are family. All of them. Every single one of the brands just mentioned belongs to the same corporation. A single sprawling empire that has quietly taken over vast sections of the supermarket. This phenomenon is what we call the shelf shock. It's the moment you realize that the competition you see is a performance. The diversity of brands is a mask. Behind it, a handful of giant corporations control what we eat and drink. And one of the biggest, most powerful, and least questioned of them all is a company you think you know: PepsiCo. This is the story of how one company built an empire in plain sight. It's a story that starts not just with a popular soda, but with a brilliant, revolutionary idea. An idea that would merge sweet drinks with salty snacks. We will uncover how PepsiCo grew from a simple merger into a global behemoth, a giant that influences everything from farming practices in developing nations to the health of our children. We will expose the controversies it has tried to bury. We will reveal the true extent of its power. This is the story of the empire behind your aisle. Let's begin. What do you think of when you hear the name Pepsi? You probably think of a can of soda. You might picture the iconic red, white, and blue logo. You might even recall the famous Pepsi Challenge. You might even recall a Super Bowl halftime show. For decades, Pepsi has been positioned as the underdog, the scrappy challenger to its arch-rival, Coca-Cola. This public rivalry is one of the most famous in business history. It has defined marketing. It has defined advertising. It has defined popular culture for generations. It is a battle that has kept us all entertained and distracted. But this distraction has served a greater purpose. While we were all watching the Cola Wars, PepsiCo was quietly executing a different strategy. It was not just fighting a war on one front, it was building a multi-front empire. While Coca-Cola focused almost exclusively on beverages, PepsiCo diversified. It created a portfolio that dominates breakfast. It created a portfolio that dominates lunch. It created a portfolio that dominates snack time. We will travel back to 1965. This was the year that the Pepsi-Cola company merged with a small but successful snack maker called Frito-Lay. It was a deal that Wall Street initially questioned, but it was a move of strategic genius. At the helm of the Pepsi-Cola company is Donald M. Kendall, a man with relentless ambition. Meanwhile, in Dallas, Texas, another visionary was running his own empire: Herman Lay, the founder of Frito-Lay. Kendall approached Herman Lay with a revolutionary proposition. His logic was simple yet profound. You make them thirsty, and I'll sell them something to drink. This marriage of salty and sweet, as Kendall famously called it, was designed to create a powerhouse of convenience. Frito-Lay's legendary direct store delivery system was its secret weapon. By combining forces, PepsiCo could now use this incredible distribution network to push both snacks and drinks. The merger created a closed loop of consumption. The salt in the chips created a demand for a drink, and the drink would make you ready for another chip. It was a brilliant, self-perpetuating cycle of sales. This merger laid the foundation for everything that was to come. It was the blueprint for a global empire that would come to control what billions of people eat and drink every single day. The 1965 merger was just the first move on a much larger chessboard. The company's leaders looked at the supermarket not as a collection of separate aisles, but as a territory to be conquered. PepsiCo began acquiring or developing brands that would fill every niche of the snack food universe. They wanted a product for every craving and every consumer. By owning Lay's, Ruffles, Doritos, Tostitos, and Cheetos, PepsiCo could dominate the most valuable real estate in the grocery store, the main snack aisle. Do you want the classic potato chip? That's Lay's. Do you want ridges for dipping? That's Ruffles. Do you need a chip for salsa? That's Tostitos. In the end, the money flows back to one place. In 2001, PepsiCo made one of its most significant acquisitions ever. It bought the Quaker Oats company. But the real prize in the Quaker Oats deal was not the oatmeal. Hidden inside the company was a small, fast-growing sports drink brand called Gatorade. By acquiring Gatorade, PepsiCo instantly became the undisputed leader in sports hydration, a brand that connected them directly to the lucrative world of sports. The expansion didn't stop there. In 1998, it acquired Tropicana, one of the world's leading juice brands. It was another step towards owning the entire breakfast occasion, from a morning bowl of cereal to a post-workout sports drink to an afternoon snack of chips and soda. PepsiCo was methodically building a portfolio that touched every part of a person's day. To support this vast portfolio, PepsiCo had to build one of the most powerful supply chain machines the world has ever seen. PepsiCo is one of the largest agricultural purchasers on the planet. Once the raw materials are harvested, they enter a sprawling global network of processing plants. By operating at such a colossal scale, PepsiCo achieves incredible efficiencies. This vertically integrated machine, from farm to factory to store shelf, is the hidden engine that drives the PepsiCo empire. It is a formidable barrier to entry for any potential rival. PepsiCo's global empire is built on a simple, profitable formula, selling products high in sugar, salt, and fat. While the marketing paints a picture of happiness, a darker reality unfolds in public health clinics around the world. For decades, the company has not just sold these products. It has actively fought against public health measures aimed at reducing their consumption, lobbying against sugar taxes and warning labels. As sales of sugary sodas decline in the West, PepsiCo has turned its focus to emerging markets. In these regions, the company's marketing budget is a tidal wave, relentlessly pushing unhealthy products as symbols of progress. The company uses billions of gallons of water every year. This insatiable thirst has placed PepsiCo at the center of fierce controversies, pitting the corporation's bottom line against the fundamental right of communities to access clean water. One of the most intense battlegrounds has been India. In Kerala and Tamil Nadu, local communities have staged massive protests, accusing PepsiCo of draining groundwater resources to produce its beverages. Beyond water extraction, there is the issue of pollution. Numerous reports document instances of PepsiCo's plants discharging untreated or poorly treated wastewater into local rivers and streams. To create the perfectly crunchy texture of its snacks, PepsiCo relies on another controversial commodity, palm oil. The demand for cheap palm oil is a primary driver of mass deforestation, particularly in Indonesia and Malaysia. The environmental devastation is compounded by a record of severe labor abuses. Investigations have uncovered widespread issues on plantations that supply PepsiCo, including child labor and dangerously low wages. In the face of growing concern, PepsiCo has invested heavily in greenwashing. It is the corporate practice of making misleading claims about environmental sustainability to create a positive public image while continuing destructive practices. It is an attempt to appear green without making the deep, structural changes that are truly necessary. It is the final, most sophisticated layer of the illusion. We began our investigation in a place that is familiar to us all, the supermarket aisle. We saw a wall of seemingly endless choices. But as we have discovered, this diversity is a grand illusion. Behind the colorful packaging lies the sprawling empire of PepsiCo. An empire built on a relentless strategy of acquisition, domination, and psychological persuasion. Its influence extends far beyond the grocery store. It dictates what is grown. It strains precious water resources. It shapes our cravings. It normalizes unhealthy consumption on a global scale. So, the next time you stand in that supermarket aisle, remember the shelf shock. Look past the friendly logos and the catchy slogans. See the network of power that connects them all. The story of PepsiCo is the story of modern capitalism itself. It is a story of how choice can be manufactured, how competition can be neutralized, and how a single corporation can quietly become one of the most powerful forces shaping our world. The empire is not hidden in the shadows. It is hidden in plain sight. The real choice begins when we decide to see it.